And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the heart of the Inland Empire, right here in sunny Southern California, it's Robert Cardoza Live, where we talk about politics, money, and you. This is the intersection of business and politics. And now here's your host, Robert Cardoza.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. And I'm here with my co-host for the day, my I guess I was going to say supercalifragilistic, but that would be a dumb thing to say. I'm with my genius grandson, Joey. He's going to be my co-host today. Joe, how are we doing today?
So far, great. How are you doing today?
You know what? Other than starting the show about 15 seconds late, I'm doing fine.
Well, 15 seconds seems to be a small amount of time compared to how late we started at some of those.
Oh, you cut me deep, Joe. You cut me deep. Anyway, on today's show, we are going to talk about what's in the news. New legislation, the IRS Loses. And we'll be doing our news segment. Actually, it's already not a news segment anymore. It's the rest of the story. It's a tribute to the late, great Paul Harvey. And my co-host, as I've already mentioned to you, is my grandson, Joey. Joey, this is week 3 for you, isn't it?
Yeah, week 2 or 3.
Just about, yeah. Just about. You've already completed 2. I think we're going on 3 this week.
Yeah, I think this is the 3rd week.
Amazing. Anyway, on today's show, we're going to have Jon Matthews, Joe Hakos. Jon is doing an archive show today. We normally do a simulcast with him, but he's doing an archive today. He's feeling a little bit under the weather, so he's going to call in though to talk to us for a half hour this afternoon, and we'll talk about. I'm sure we've got a lot of things to talk about. No question about that.
And then Newsweek.
Yeah, you better believe that. And then our own little wine drinker, John Hansen's going to be here. He'll be talking about food and wine. I'm pretty sure he's going to be talking about Bistro Blue, where you and I were on Monday.
Yeah, that was a great lunch.
Was it Monday? It was Friday. It was Friday, right? Last Friday.
Yeah, Friday.
Terrific lunch. So we're going to talk about that. That ought to be really nice and interesting. But right now, I want you to know that at 3:02 p.m. Pacific time, currently 88 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. Well, let's talk about the news. We've abbreviated this so we can give you a lot of things, and then we'll get right into the in-depth stuff. These are the 10 things you need to know for today, your daily look at late-breaking news, upcoming events, and the stories that will be talked about all day today and tomorrow. And first up, the gunman in the deadly attack on a Dallas police had plans for larger assault. Mika Johnson possessed enough explosive material to inflict far greater harm. The city police chief and a top elected official said to us today. So he was really, if we get a chance, we'll talk more about that. He had all kinds of stuff he was going to do.
I was not aware that he had any plans.
He had more weapons and he had more explosives tucked away. He could do a lot of things.
Jesus.
And protesters around the United States block a major freeway to protest police shootings of black men. Police in riot gear kept protesters from entering a major artery in Baton Rouge and made dozens of arrests. And how open carry law posed a challenge to police during the Dallas sniper attack. The presence of many armed individuals caused instant confusion, a scenario that some law enforcement officials predicted when Texas approved the open carry law earlier this year. I can see where that would be a problem. You got some sniper shooting at you and everybody else is carrying weapons too. You don't know who the problem is.
Yeah, that's going to be a problem in a situation like that.
Yeah. And what Obama will face when he returns from abroad and visits Dallas. He'll try to help Americans make sense of shootings that have emerged as a tipping point in the national debate about race and justice. Heavy explosions shake South Sudan's capital as fighting enters the 5th day. An Associated Press reporter in Juba reported widespread shooting preventing residents from moving around. And North Korea vows to end diplomatic communications. Wow, with us. Why does that surprise me?
They're always threatening something.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all. Well, you know what? The North hinted at harsher punishment for Americans detained in the country in retaliation for U.S. sanctions that target leader Kim Jong-un. Well, I don't know that he's much of a leader.
Dictator.
Yeah.
How much harsher can the punishments that they get be?
I don't know, but I think somebody needs to, buy this kid some boxer shorts, get him out of those briefs that are choking him. Anyway, Carter says the United States will use air base in Iraqi City as a base to recapture Mosul. The U.S. Defense Chief spoke after landing in Baghdad on an unannounced visit on Monday. Well, how Portugal stunned France to win the European Championship final. The Portuguese did it the hard way after playing without an injured Ronaldo from the 25th minute through extra time. And Aerosmith guitarist Joe Perry is hospitalized after becoming ill at a New York City concert. An administrator at Coney Island Hospital confirmed the 65-year-old Perry is undergoing tests. And then finally, who made the United States women's Olympic gymnastics team? I bet you Johnny know. No, he might not. Anyway, 3-time world champion Simone Biles. That little black girl that was in the Olympics last year?
I don't usually watch the Olympics.
Oh, man, she was fantastic. Anyway, she'll be joined by defending Olympic champion Gabby Douglas, who was also there, 3-time Olympic medalist Ali Raisman, and newcomers Madison Kosian, I guess it is, and Lori Hernandez. Well, you know what? Let's talk about some in-depth stuff in the news so that we can, give you a little better details about what's going on. The Dallas Department seemed to be making progress on race. When Micah Johnson opened fire on Dallas police in an act of vengeance against white officers, he was attacking a department whose chief had been lauded across the country for taking bold steps to root out bad cops and repair relations with minorities. Police Chief David Brown, a black man who pushed through the reforms despite resistance from the rank and file, boasted at a news conference today that crime, police shootings, and excessive force complaints against the department have all dropped dramatically on his watch. This is the best department in the country, and I'm proud to be associated with the men and women of the Dallas Police Department, he said. And this tragedy incident will not discourage us from continuing the pace of urgency in changing and reforming police in America. Let's hope so. Let's hope that every department takes on the same kind of thrust, don't you think?
Yeah, we should be doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, looks like the latest, nearly 50 are charged in a Minnesota weekend protest. The latest on the aftermath of the shooting of police officers during the protest in Dallas. The St. Paul city attorney says he's charging nearly 50 people arrested in the weekend protest on Interstate 94 over the death of Philando Castile, who was shot by a police officer. City Attorney Samuel Clark said today he has decided to charge all 46 adults arrested by the state patrol in the highway protest with third-degree riot, a gross misdemeanor. Bail was set at $1,500 for those facing charges, could make their first court appearances on Tuesday. Clark says the protesters endangered others when they walked onto the interstate and refused officers' commands to leave Saturday evening. Wow. Can you imagine? How dumb is that? It just, well, I understand it, but it doesn't mean it's not dumb, right, Joe? These are, in case you don't know what it was, these were people that were protesting, decided to step up and get on the interstate highway to block traffic. People could have been killed. I was just processing it for a second. Like, I wouldn't think that the highway would be a great place to protest. I'm thinking, maybe in front of different things, but yeah. Well, this highway 90 they're talking about, it's like a freeway. It's like an 8-lane freeway.
Yeah, they were endangering their own lives.
Yeah, they sure are. Well, we're going to talk more about the news with Joey right after these brief messages. Do not go away.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. Nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, you know Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchase high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson & Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson & Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson & Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson & Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. I'm here with my co-host, my grandson Joey, and we're talking news. And right off the top here, actually it's not the top, we're in our second segment. Military changed a Dallas suspect. Robot use was defended. Here's the thing. Military service changed the Dallas gunman from an extrovert into a hermit. His parents said in an interview excerpt published just today, Micah Johnson's mother, Delphine Johnson, told the Blaze website in an interview that her son wanted to be a police officer as a child. His 6 years in the Army Reserve, including a tour in Afghanistan, were not what Micah thought it would be. What he thought the military represented, it just didn't live up to his expectations. According to the military lawyer who represented him, Johnson was accused of sexually harassing a female soldier while deployed. His father, James Johnson, said haltingly and through tears, "I don't know what to say to anybody to make anything better. I didn't see it coming." The black 25-year-old fatally shot 5 officers in Thursday's attack while hundreds of people were gathered in downtown Dallas to protest recent fatal police shootings and wounded at least 9 officers and 2 civilians. Dallas Police Chief David Brown clarified today where Johnson was killed with a bomb delivered by a remote-controlled robot, saying that it happened on the 2nd floor of El Centro College, not a parking lot, as authorities previously described. Brown did not provide any more details, including the locations of the negotiations that came before the bomb. The police chief again defended the decision to use the robot, saying he had already killed us in a grave way, and officers were in surgery that actually didn't make it. This wasn't an ethical dilemma for me, Brown said. I'd do it again to save our officers' lives. Here. I think he made the right decision. The right time, right decision. I think you'd have to look at it on a case-by-case basis, though, don't you, Joe?
This robot thing, I've heard a lot of people say is going to open up a lot of legal, I'm trying to find the right word.
Conversations?
Yeah, a lot of legal conversations. Yeah. But I thought that it was very It was the right thing at the right time.
Yeah, well, you know what I think what people would be afraid of is that all of a sudden in these kind of situations, police would use that as the first course to go after, right? And we don't want that to happen. I think using a negotiator, trying to solve things peaceably as much as you can. But in this particular case, there was no way out of it. This guy was trained. He knew what he was doing, and he was going to hurt a lot more people, the innocent people and police officers. And then you have to weigh out the justice here. Is it worth innocent lives, or should the perpetrator just be stopped?
Yeah, and if they would have charged him with their normal guns, if they even had any on, because I heard that they were just in their blue shirts. They weren't wearing any armor.
I'm not sure if they were armed. They weren't wearing armor, but they were armed.
They were armed. Okay. And if they would have charged with their normal weapons, then what was to stop the shooter from taking more innocent lives?
Oh, absolutely, Joey. Absolutely. And as it turns out, he's on the second floor of a building. He wasn't where they could easily get to him.
No, the robot seemed like something that could eliminate him could neutralize him without
hurting anybody.
Without hurting
other than him, who already deserves it. Besides, think of this, and this is going to sound horrible. We probably saved millions of dollars in trial and defense and all that kind of stuff on this guy, who we already know was really guilty. Just do away with him. And no, I'm sure that wasn't the reason. You know, everybody's entitled to due process. But you know what? If that was you laying on the ground there, I wouldn't have given a second thought about blowing that guy up.
And they had already previously tried to negotiate with him.
Yeah, oh yeah, and he was laughing at him. He was just laughing at him. You know, that's just crazy. This just came in today too, about 18 minutes ago. Two sheriff's bailiffs and a suspect are dead in a Michigan courthouse. Two bailiffs were shot and killed today inside a southwestern Michigan courthouse before officers killed the gunman, the sheriff said. The incident occurred on the third floor of the Berrien County Courthouse in St. Joseph, 100 miles northeast of Chicago. Sheriff Paul Bailey didn't provide additional details on how the shooting happened. He said he didn't know anything about the shooter, why he was in the courthouse, or how he even got a gun. A sheriff's deputy who was shot was in stable condition at the hospital, and a fifth person was injured, although how that person was hurt wasn't immediately clear. I stand here with a heavy heart. A person has shot two bailiffs. They're both deceased, Bailey told the reporters. Other people in the area, the shooting, sought shelter before brave officers were able to come to the rescue and take the shooter down, the sheriff said. He didn't elaborate. Bailey said he felt terrible about the deaths. Berrien County, which borders Indiana, is in the far southwestern corner of Michigan. You know what? Somehow, Joe, I don't think we've seen the end of this.
Just keeps coming.
Yeah, just
all
keeps
these
coming.
shootings, all the depressing news.
Yeah.
Never stops.
You're right. All that depressing news never stops. So, it seems to me, what I ought to try and do is get something that's not so depressing.
I figure you should do that like once a week.
Yeah. Let's see what we got here. Let's see. Soda Makers Campaign drinks Trump Tonic and Hillary Hooch.
Well, I guess some people got to make money off of certain circumstances.
You know what? It says a Connecticut soft drink company is hoping to add a little pop to this year's presidential election by releasing two specialty sodas named for the presumptive nominees. Avery's Beverages, a 112-year-old soda maker in New Britain, is offering Trump Tonic and Hillary Hooch, named, of course, for Republican Donald Trump and Democrat Hillary Clinton. I think that's terrific.
I've seen a lot of products like that. There's a candy store I went into. It's like a weird little store. It doesn't just sell candy. And in the very back of the store, they were selling toilet paper with the candidates' faces on them.
Oh, jeez. Really?
Yeah. Along with a bunch of other stuff like different T-shirts and that type of thing.
Okay, listen, we got to take a break. When we come back, we're going to do the IRS Loses. Don't go away. First case up is that a company's shares value were reduced by the tax that company could owe. So I'll tell you all about it right after these brief messages. Do not go away.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful in visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios, Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
The story you are about to see is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
And here we are, my favorite part of the show. Joey actually is having an out-of-body moment over here. I think he's soaring like an eagle. You know, he starts hearing this music, and that's what happens. Anyway, we're going to talk about the IRS Loses. And the first case is the shares value are reduced by the tax that a company could owe. In this particular case, Fraser Jake died owning shares of CCC Incorporated, which owned appreciated securities. Now, to set the value of his shares, Jelke's estate subtracted the capital gains tax that CCC would owe on its investments if it sold them immediately from their value on its books. The IRS allowed no such deduction. The tax court allowed a smaller deduction computed using what it deemed a more realistic assumption that CCC's investments would be sold gradually over 16 years. The estate appealed. They went to the Court of Appeals. This is what they said. The tax court's 16-year assumption was arbitrary. It is more reasonable to value CCC at its current liquidation value after gains tax. Makes sense to me. How about this? The IRS loses. A home designer may deduct equestrian expenses. Well, Tracy Topping was a noted amateur equestrian who started a design business that specialized in homes and house barns. She marketed her services through equestrian contacts by owning horses, competing in events, and being a member of the Jockey Club. Now, here's the snag. The IRS said her equestrian activity was a hobby, that not part of her business, and disallowed her deductions for more than $320,000 of his expenses. So she went to court to see if she can get some satisfaction. What the judge said. The overall business was profitable, even accounting for the equestrian costs, and 90% of its customers were obtained through the equestrian contacts. So the equestrian costs were deductible as a marketing expense. That's exactly what you'd expect, isn't it? Sure it is. Let me give you one more. The IRS loses. Partners leave a partnership with no gains tax. Two members of a partnership wanted to leave it for business reasons, so the partnership borrowed $11.9 million, bought notes issued by an insurer in that amount, and distributed the notes to those partners in liquidation of their interests in it by that time. So next, the IRS said that the partners had sold their interests and imposed gains tax. The partner said the notes weren't cash, therefore they had received a tax-free exchange of property. The IRS reply was that they had received notes instead of cash only as a tax avoidance ploy. Well, this is what the judge said. The notes served a business purpose in letting the partners exchange one investment for another. That the result is tax favored? Well, too bad, IRS. That's allowed in this world. Absolutely. Well, you know what? You've heard me talk about being a fly on the wall when the IRS is doing things. That's where we're at right now with this segment we call Inside the IRS. It's a little bit like the Twilight Zone. Okay, now, you know what? These are not tax court cases, but, you know, they are precedents that have been set down. The IRS has made some decisions or had conversations or dealt with people in a certain way. And if you know what they are, you can use them to your advantage. Now, in this first case here, you know what? You know, when the IRS wants to find out what your credit report says about you, and this is kind of an important thing because they can find out anything they want. It is permissible under the Federal Fair Credit Reporting Act for the IRS to request your credit report if you owe back taxes. Now, the Collection Division of the IRS routinely orders credit reports to determine what assets a delinquent taxpayer owns or to confirm the financial information provided by a taxpayer who requests an installment agreement or an offer in compromise. But you need to be careful. Not paying tax because you don't have the money generally is not a crime, but submitting false financial information to the IRS is. So you want to be really careful when you're dealing with these kind of things. And how about this? Contesting the decision of a revenue agent after a tax examination. You know, the most common method of protesting adjustments proposed by a revenue agent is to ask that your case be considered by the IRS Office of Appeals. Now, the IRS Office of Appeals is not an independent agency. Officers work for the IRS, but most times its staffers make an effort to resolve a case or cases to the mutual satisfaction of both taxpayers and the IRS. But you got to be careful here. An appeals officer is permitted to reopen an issue that was agreed upon during the examination, and he or she may raise new issues that the potential effect on the tax liability is material. Now, so the best approach? Consider not taking your case to the IRS Office of Appeals if you know that the revenue agent failed to develop a significant issue that could cost you more money than you might save in appeals on your other issues. So you want to make sure that you got that down pat and you know what's going on. Now, I want to remind you that later on in the show, it's gotten to be one of my favorite things. We're going to be doing the oops, what the heck is that? Let's close that down. Anyway, we're going to be doing the tribute to the late, great Paul Harvey and the rest of the story. The biggest and best voice in America. He reveals the startling heartbeats behind the headlines. In today's story, it's going to be one, you know what, you're going to love this story. It's all in the family. Now, I'm not going to tell you any more about it because it's just really a terrific story for you to get involved in, and you're going to want to know what's going on. Besides which, if I tell you any more about it, then you're liable to guess exactly what's going on, and I want to surprise you with what the rest of the story is actually going to be. So, in any event, don't go away. When we come back, we'll be with our own Jon Matthews, and Jon is going to be giving us a call. We're going to talk about conservative politics. So don't go away. We'll be right back with Jon Matthews of the Conservative Syndicate.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. Nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. You know what? And we're waiting for our simulcast. Jon Matthews is going to be here shortly. And Jon and I are going to be talking about conservative politics right here on Robert Cardoza Live. And you don't want to miss it. He's always an articulate man. I want to remind you also to get our app, Robert Cardoza Live. You can go to if you've got a Windows product or an Android product, you go to googleplay.com, just search Robert Cardoza Live, and it'll be right there for you, and it's absolutely free. If you've got a Apple product, go to the Apple Store, and the same thing is right there. Just search Robert Cardoza Live, download it. It's absolutely free. You can listen to all of our shows, listen to us live if you want to, if we're doing it live like we are right now, or basically, you know what, you can listen to any of our archives. We'd be glad you did that. Tell your friends about our show out there. We would appreciate it. Now, I got my co-host back here with me. Joey, how are you doing so far, Joe?
We're doing great.
Well, we're just waiting for Jon to call in. He'll be calling in at about 2 or 3 seconds, something like that, if his clock is the same as ours. So we'll see what actually happens with him. And, who knows? Nobody knows what's going to happen here. But Jon will call in. We'll see what's hitting his hot button today. And if nothing, then we'll create something that'll hit his hot button. Right? There's certainly plenty of news out there, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he'll be giving us a call. John is unfortunately he's not feeling terribly well today, and so I told him I'd cover for him today because I knew I had you on here, and he says for a half hour he'd call in. He'd like to cover that and take care of it. So we'll see what happens. Obviously his clock is not the same as my clock, and he's supposed to call me, and that doesn't look like that's happening. So let's see here. If I might be able to get him. Well, that's not working. Let's try this. There, Jon Matthews. Let me try and give him a call and see if maybe that'll work. Let's try it. And it's ringing.
James Comey up on the carpet today, and.
Let's see. John is I think he's trying to get me. I don't know what's going on here. Give me another try here, John. I don't understand says he's online, but I don't think so. I think he's got an archive show going, and so that's not going to be able to handle it. In any event, John ought to be calling me here, any doggone second. Hopefully he will be. And that'll take care of it. Matter of fact, you know what I ought to do, Joey? Why don't you talk a little bit about our lunch on Friday. Not very much. Don't give it all away while I try and get a hold of John.
So, Friday.
Oh, there he goes. And we're on with our own Jon Matthews. Say, hey, John, how you doing, buddy?
Oh, okay. Sorry, just a couple minutes late getting into you.
Not a problem. I actually didn't know if you were feeling good enough or what was going on. I tried to call you, but I went into your archive show and I hung up right away, hopefully I wouldn't mess anything up. You still with me?
I saw you coming in on Skype, but I've got my archive running on that computer, so I couldn't answer you.
So how you're not feeling too good, and I felt bad that you had to call in here today, and hopefully you'll get that taken care of.
Yeah, I'm fine. I just things have been a little discombobulated here. We got a bunch of stuff going on with the show, and I'm just kind of stretched in between that and fighting a cold in the middle of all of it. So,
well, you know what? When you get to be as old as I am, those cold germs just don't survive anymore. I get worse.
I'm sorry?
I say when you get to be as old as I am, cold germs just won't survive in your body anymore. The bad stuff does, but the cold doesn't. So, listen, my friend.
Anyway.
Yeah, what's hitting your hot button today?
Well, I think right now, the hearing last week with FBI Director James Comey.
Oh, yeah.
Not his press conference, but the hearing itself. I picked up on a couple of things there that I'm really kind of expecting the GOP Oversight Committee to once again blow an opportunity, snatch defeat out of the jaws of victory. James Comey gave them enough information that if they really played their cards right and focus on the right things that were testified, Comey's testimony as to why he did what he did and what he based his decisions on. They got a double-edged sword that they could brandish out in the public arena. They could really do some damage for Hillary, but unfortunately, I think they're going to major in the minors, just like they do with Benghazi, and they're going to blow the whole thing and not accomplish anything with it. So, what I really mean by that is that they now want to investigate Hillary on perjury charges.
Oh, right, and her staff.
I'm sorry?
And her staff.
Well, it's not really a matter of whether she did or didn't commit perjury. I mean, that's all Hillary Clinton knows how to do.
Well, yeah, but I mean, didn't Comey already effectively say that she lied? I mean, isn't that perjury?
Yes, it is. It is. You have to put this in context again with what James Comey was expressing when he made this decision. He basically was saying a couple of things here. He was saying to actually bring perjury charges against her, he would have to prove, or a prosecutor would have to prove, that Hillary actually knew that she was lying when she said the things that she said. And so he said that is why I can't really even tell you that she lied because we can't prove that she actually knew what she was talking about.
You know what? You know, I find that so repulsive. You know, when you stop and think, she is an accomplished attorney. Both her and her husband are accomplished attorneys. They've been in the public life for 50 years, 40 years, whatever it is. You're going to tell me she didn't understand what she was doing? I've got a tough time swallowing that.
Well, I think, I look at it this way. It's apparent to me that James Comey, a man who, at the beginning of his press conference, stated that he doesn't give a hoot about politics, and now all of a sudden, I don't believe that for a moment. I don't believe you can be the head of the FBI and not give a hoot about politics.
Yeah.
But the point being, is that what he was trying to present? Now think about this just for a moment. Think about two things here. He made the statement that no reasonable prosecutor would bring charges against Hillary Clinton, and he based it on two things: a historical precedent that in 99 years nobody has ever brought charges like this based on the statute of gross negligence, meaning he believes that you have to prove intent in order to bring such charges. Well, as somebody who worked in the government and handled classified information, that argument is completely moot. It doesn't matter whether intent. You either compromised it or you didn't. It doesn't matter whether you intended to or not.
Right.
And so, in that spectrum, she is guilty of compromising classified information. It doesn't matter whether her server was hacked or anything else. It simply is the idea that she should have known that when she generated emails that had classified information in them, that they were classified when she originated the email. The markings are irrelevant. And if she received classified information, she should have known that she was reading classified information, whether it was marked or not.
Right.
So that argument within the real definition of the statute of gross negligence is true. What Comey is stating is we couldn't prove intent. He was going with a more of a civilian prosecutorial argument that you have to establish intent, that you had to willfully know that what you were doing was wrong. And he's saying we don't know that she was sophisticated enough to know that what she was doing was wrong. That's a lame argument, but it was one he made to distance himself from this one very thing. Had he recommended charges he brought against Hillary Clinton, he would have been placed in the crosshairs of the political machine, because what he would have now done is he would have actually brought Barack Obama into this whole thing, because in a prosecution case, Barack Obama would have to testify. And so what he says, I'm not going to be the guy that brings down Barack Obama.
Right.
That was really what he was saying. I don't give a hoot about politics. I'm not going to be the guy to bring down Barack Obama.
But you know what? Why would
he was escaping from having to get involved in it for his own preservation, whether it be political or his career or whatever.
Well, no, but John,
think about the
John
would take this case, because he later qualified his statement by saying not so much that there are no prosecutors that would take this case. He said there were no prosecutors in the Justice Department that would take this case. That's another true statement. Why would you take a case that puts your boss on the stand?
Yeah, hey, John. So, here's the part that I don't understand. I do and I don't understand. First of all, he's got an irrefutable 10-year job there. They can't get rid of him. Even if the president wants to get rid of him, they can't get rid of him for the 10 years. And he is a Republican that was actually put into that job. He's not a Democrat. And so it just seems to me that politically, he would be looked on with great favor if he had gone the other way.
Well, I think it was, like I said, I think on a great deal of it was his unwillingness to be the one that goes down in history as bringing this all about.
Mm-hmm.
I think purely from that standpoint, it was in his mind, I don't want any part of this, plain and simple. And so I'm going to look for an argument that will allow me to escape and leave it in the court of public opinion. That's what he wanted to do. What he did with his hearing and with his announcement was he placed this entire thing in the court of public opinion. and said, let them fight it out. I'm not a politician. I don't want to be a politician. I don't want to be involved.
Gotcha.
Now, is that a miscarriage of justice? Yes. Is it trivial? Yes. It's all those things. But he decided, I'm not going to get involved with this. I'm not going to touch this with a 40-foot ball. He did, in essence, he did the same thing that we've seen in the Supreme Court. John Roberts doing the Supreme Court a couple of times in his argument. Mm-hmm. He just distanced himself from the actual argument. He'll use the issue of state sovereignty or something like that. But he doesn't want to really, for political purposes, he doesn't want to be in the crosshairs of the machine. I mean, can you imagine what the Clinton political machine would do to this guy?
Yeah. Hey, John, hang on a second. I got to take a short break. We'll come right back. We'll be with Jon Matthews in the Conservative Syndicate after these brief messages. Do not go away.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful and visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 3:50 p.m. Pacific time. Currently 89 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. It's on the way down to 59 degrees. And if you're listening to us on our globally syndicated network and you're in New York City, it's 79 degrees and partly cloudy. We're talking to my good buddy Jon Matthews in the Conservative Syndicate. Hey, John, how you doing, buddy?
All right. Okay.
All right. So listen, when we left, we were talking about James Comey being between a rock and a hard place with this decision and just wanting to kind of stay neutral to preserve his own position. Have I pretty much got that right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's so much between a rock and a hard place as it is a willful desire not to get involved. I think he just this guy's only got like 8 years left to go for retirement. And, why spend that time having to spend all your time in front of press conferences trying to justify or explain away your decision to do something when, in fact, you don't want to really be involved with the people that you would have to be involved with. Like you said, he doesn't give a hoot about politics. I don't believe that, but I understand his position is that, I really don't want to be in the middle of this. I do not want to be the man that brings down Barack Obama, and displaces Donald Trump as America's number one racist and sexist. I think that's what he was trying to avoid. However, he did, and I think in a very clever way, give enough information to the Republicans that if they played their cards right, they could really do some damage to Hillary Clinton.
And John, that's where I'd like to go with this, because you know what? It did appear that he gave tremendous ammunition to the Conservative Party, the Republican Party, but I don't see him using it. What the hell is wrong with the Republicans?
Well, again, that's what I said. There is such a disconnect in the Republican Party today that they don't even know how to play politics anymore. They're in such a habitual state of just conceding everything and giving everything up for the fear of being branded as a racist or a homophobe or something, but they've forgotten how to play the game. If they were smart, like I said, the comparison is Benghazi. 2.5 years on Benghazi, and the only thing they could come up with is that the Obama administration was afraid of embarrassing Libyans.
Yeah,
and that's why everything was kind of stood down. Instead of focusing on the real issue, the real reason Barack Obama stood down on rescuing anybody out of Benghazi is the fear that the arms that have been run in there to be distributed to Syrian dissidents are sitting in that compound, and was the reason the compound was attacked.
So let me ask you this for a second, John, and just kind of open your mind up to this for a second, because I'm probably not the sharpest pencil in the box, but I'm sure as hell not the dullest one either. And it just seems to me that I can almost understand Donald Trump. He's his own guy, and he makes all kinds of mistakes, and he screws things up. But there's got to be a lot of Republicans out there that would just want to have a conservative White House that would take them under their wings and say, you got to do this and you got to do that, and maximize what James Comey said was a fact that Hillary had been lying and all the untruths that she told. And that would almost ensure this guy the White House. What is wrong with these people?
Well, again, it's majoring in the minors. They'll turn this thing into some committee hearing. It'll take another 2.5 years for anybody to come to any conclusion. They'll come to the same conclusion. Well, we know she lied, but we're not able to prove it, blah, 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 and we end up back to square one. What they should be focusing on is Comey's comments about whether or not Hillary Clinton was sophisticated enough to understand that she was looking at classified information. Now, The argument is out there that is also a straw man. That is something that was just floated out there that Hillary Clinton is Trey Gowdy said. Hillary, I don't think it's her lack of sophistication. I think she's very sophisticated. But the point is if you go out into the court of public opinion, and you start espousing on this one thought, James Comey said that Hillary Clinton is not sophisticated enough with her 40-plus years of public service. She's not sophisticated enough to understand or recognize classified information. Now, you keep playing that. That is the horse they should be beating. And in doing so, it's going to force the Clinton camp to do one of two things. They're either going to have to discount and say, no, I do understand the system, and I do understand, I do recognize classified information, which now you can then pursue and say, but you told us that you just believed that you were doing the right thing. You didn't know you were doing the wrong thing. So what is it? Do you know that you did the wrong thing, or do you not know? Either way, that is damning.
Yeah.
And that should be the message they play. But what are they doing? They want to just look at perjury charges. Let's go see if she lied. Well, we all know she lied.
Well, yeah, and the FBI proved that she lied. It's not like they have to go out and have a committee meeting and prove anything. The FBI came right out and said, yes, she told untruths, and she did compromise her information, and she did have more than one computer, and she did have unauthorized classified documents on her. What the hell else do we need?
Well, and again, it is the disconnect in the Republican Party that they have forgotten how to not let a good crisis go to waste. They have forgotten. They don't know how to employ the same tactic that the left have used successfully in zeroing in on the right thing to make a big deal about. And the right thing is, wait a minute, Hillary, you either are sophisticated enough to understand this stuff, which means you did lie, or you're not sophisticated, which means you're not qualified. And you got to beat those two messages out there. And sooner or later, because liars always do this, they'll slip and they'll tell you the truth. And that's what needs to be done. I don't know that Republicans are adept enough to pick up on this. They're going to major in the minors, and they're going to put the cart before the horse, and they're going to end up with absolutely nothing.
Yeah, they're going to put a Democrat in the White House.
Yeah, and at this point, I think they would prefer that.
You know what? I was waiting for you to say that, because that's how I'm feeling. I'm feeling like the Republican Party, the conservative party, that has already gone on record that they're not supporting Donald Trump. It wants to do anything they can to keep him out of there.
Hillary Clinton preserves the establishment.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about right now.
Yes.
Preserving the establishment.
Yes. You hit the nail on the head. That's exactly what they're afraid of. They don't want to have somebody shake up the establishment. They want to preserve it. And the only way to do that is to make the concession that there's only two people that are going to get into that White House. And one of them's a Democrat. The other one is the one that's going to destroy the security of their position. I can see what the sacrifice they're going to make.
Yeah. But it's all about self-preservation. The disconnect is so great that the Republicans really do not understand the damage they are about to inflict on America.
Yeah.
They really think that it's going to be okay. And that disconnect is just from too many years now of not wanting to really face the reality of what we're dealing with and constantly majoring in the minor stuff.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
The whole idea with Obamacare. 60-some times now they voted to repeal Obamacare. Get over it. You're not going to do it that way.
Yeah.
Okay?
Well,
you got to get somebody in power.
Yeah, you're right, John. Anyway, we're out of time. You need to rest your voice. You need to take an antibiotic. You need to feel better. And are we going to get to talk to you on Friday?
All right. You take care, my friend.
All right. You take care, too. And the rest of you folks, don't go away. When we come back, we're going to be with John Hansen, that little old wine drinker. We're going to be talking about food and wine. And, well, my co-host Joey's going to talk about that with John. We'll be right back after these brief messages. Do not go away.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. Nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchase high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson & Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson & Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson & Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson & Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
When they ask who's a fool in the corner crying, I say, a little old wine drinker me.
And now, from the middle of a vineyard somewhere, a man who's never met a grape he couldn't cuddle up to, our resident advanced sommelier, Jon Hansen.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. And at 4:02 p.m. Pacific time, it is currently 89 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. That's on its way down to 60 degrees. That'll be kind of pleasant. And if you're listening to us on our syndicated global network and you're in Chicago, Illinois, well, it's 89 degrees and partly cloudy. And if you're in Paris, France, it's 61 degrees and it's clear. And if you're here in our studio, you're here with my grandson, my co-host today, Joey, and we're here waiting for Jon Hansen to wake up and find out that he's 2 minutes late calling in. So, well, Joey, what do you think goes on in my mind when somebody is not calling in when they're supposed to?
Cover for them.
Yeah. We just gotta say something to him, like, I'll send him a text and say, hey, call now. It's after 4. You were supposed to call at 4.
It's
right?
3 minutes after 4.
Yeah. Well, depends on you're right. Here it says 3 minutes after 4. You're right. Anyway, in any event, he should have called 3 minutes ago, right? And you know what? He'll call any minute. He'll wake up. You know what? I'll bet you he's on that porcelain throne. He just had that surgery, right? And so he's going to call in a little bit late. I don't know why he would. I know he confirmed that he was going to be here, but you know what? Let's talk a little bit about meeting him. That wasn't the first time you met Jon, was it? Last Friday?
No, I think the first time I met him was at you and your 50th anniversary.
Oh yeah. Last year at our 50th wedding anniversary, you met Jon there, and Jon's just quite a guy. I've known him for many, many years, and Grandma and I think very highly of him, and actually consider him family. He's quite a guy. Anyway, you and I actually went down and met with Jon last Friday because he's not out and about, and we picked him up and we went to lunch, and we went to a place called the Bistro Blue. French restaurant, and the reason we went there is because you showed your desire that you wanted to go to a French restaurant, and I had been at that restaurant a week or so prior to that, and one of the things you had said to me is that you wanted to try rabbit. And so I thought, well, you know what? We'll go visit Jon. We'll see how he's doing, and we'll pick him up. We'll go over to the Bistro Blue, and we'll give Joey a chance to taste that French food he wanted to taste. So what'd you think of Bistro Blue?
I thought it was an amazing restaurant. It's in a little strip mall. It certainly doesn't look like it's just this great and extravagant restaurant from the exterior. But once we got our food, and it was just delicious. It was awesome. And I don't really use the word awesome a lot. I don't take the term lightly. It was an awesome meal.
Oh yeah. Matter of fact, we started off. Let's see. We had escargot, right?
Escargot, and then Mr. Hansen had oysters or clams.
No. You know what? We started off. We didn't have the escargot. We started off with mussels.
Mussels, yes.
Right. We started off with mussels, and matter of fact, no, you're right. You and I had different escargot, and John had the mussels. Right? He had a big plate of mussels.
Yeah.
And so what happened was that I tasted your escargot because yours was done in
traditional. It was the garlic and it was the garlic sauce. I just call it the garlic sauce.
Yeah, garlic and butter and stuff like that. And then mine was actually in a mushroom and kind of traditional, and that was really good. And then John had traditional classic mussels. So we all shared all of that. And did you have a favorite from all of that? I
am a huge fan of escargot. The first time I had it was actually on the Disney's Epcot.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a great French restaurant in there. It's one of my favorite French restaurants called Monsieur Paul.
Mm-hmm.
And it's in a little corner of a street in the Paris section. Oh, it was great. Great restaurant, great atmosphere, great food. So I've tried escargot there, and I loved it. And I tried escargot at this Bistro Blue, and both were unique. They had their own differences. They had their likes and their differences. But they were both delicious. I couldn't pick a favorite of the two, but I tried your mushroom capped escargot,
mm-hmm.
and I had my traditional garlic escargot, and they tasted so different. They tasted different despite being the same dish.
The mushroom did something to it, huh?
The mushroom did a lot to it.
Yeah.
It did a lot to it.
So, after that, I had French onion soup. You had lobster bisque.
Yes.
And what did you think of the lobster bisque? Was there big chunks of lobster in it, or was it just a little bit?
It was little chunks of lobster. I absolutely love lobster bisque. It's one of my favorite meals. There's actually a funny story that my family likes to tell, because when I was little, I went to Europe. We had a family trip to Europe, and what was I, like 3?
Oh, yeah, you're talking about you were 3 years old when we were celebrating, your grandmother and I were celebrating our 40th wedding anniversary, and we decided to take the whole family to Europe. So that included you.
And I had tried lobster bisque in Europe,
mm-hmm.
and I fell in love with lobster bisque. And we went to our family after we got back. Went to a hamburger restaurant, and when they asked me what I wanted, I said, "Do you have lobster bisque?" And, they said no, but I absolutely love lobster bisque, and this was a great lobster bisque. It was perfectly sized. The chunks of lobster weren't too big, and they weren't too small. It was just fabulous.
It was good.
Fabulous food.
And you could taste, in that lobster bisque, you could taste the sherry. That odd taste that you got? That was sherry. And they put that in there. It's kind of like it gives it a little bit of an earthy taste. It's really, really, really good. And then I had the, French onion soup, and you tried that too. What'd you think of that?
That was the first time I had French onion soup.
Oh, really? Ever?
Yes, ever. I thought that the French onion soup was delicious, but I had a hard time eating it because I had to reach over with my spoon into your plate, and the cheese was always like, I never expected there to be as much cheese as there was.
Yeah, there was a lot of cheese there. Now, I want you to know that even though we call this guy our little old wine drinker, and I think that's exactly where he's been. He's about 10 minutes late calling into the show. I think he's been tipping a few. Hey, John, are you out there?
Yeah, Bob, I'm here, buddy. Sorry I'm a little late. Got into a little traffic. Had to get a few things done, and didn't have my cell phone with me. I was going to call you on my cell phone, and I'm like, I got to get home. I got to go home to landline, and sorry about the delay, but I am here now.
Well, good. Listen, Joey and I were just talking about visiting you last Friday and going to the Bistro Blue, and we talked about you having the mussels and us having the escargot, the two different kinds, and we talked about the lobster bisque and the French onion soup, and Joey had just shared with me, I didn't realize it, that's the first time he had ever had French onion soup. He had a tough time eating it because of the cheese that was melting, because he had to reach over to my plate, and the cheese kind of came all the way across for him, but he loved the French onion soup. But we have not gotten to the main courses yet.
Well, and as well, I believe it's the first time Joey had the rabbit. So I'm interested to see what he thought of the rabbit, actually, because that's one of my favorite dishes here at Bistro Blue.
So for the main course, I had a rabbit. My grandfather had New Zealand lamb chops, and I forget, what did you have, Mr. Hansen?
I had the coq au vin rich, like a chicken with little mushrooms, red wine, and so forth. Kind of a traditional French dish.
And so did Joey, what'd you think of that rabbit?
I thought, I know everything at this restaurant I thought was great. I thought this rabbit was amazing. It was the first time I had rabbit. It tasted a lot like chicken. It really did. It tasted a lot like chicken. Yeah. And they had a gravy over it. And I thought that
when you have a French gravy, they call it sauce.
A sauce over it, and I thought that the sauce added a lot of flavor. It added a lot of flavor to the rabbit, and the rabbit was really easy to cut. It was flaky. It was really good. I ended up eating a lot of the rabbit, and I will have it again. I will have it again.
And you tried my lamb. What'd you think of that?
I thought the lamb was good too. I have had lamb before. It's one of my favorite dishes. I enjoyed the lamb, but there was nothing like super special about it. It was lamb.
And I don't remember, John. Did you share any of your coq au vin with Joey?
Yes, he did.
Yes, I did. I gave him a little piece. Hopefully he tried it. But out of the three dishes we had, I have to go with Joey's dish, the rabbit.
Oh yeah.
The rabbits, it's small. They're small animals, and what they give you the whole rabbit, and it's lightly breaded, and I tell you, the sauce with it and everything. And I tell you, Raina, the first time we went, she had the rabbit, and we weren't anticipating that it was that huge of a dish, because it's like, rabbit's tiny, have the dish yourself, because we were contemplating maybe sharing an entree. Because after when we went, we had the mussels and the lobster bisque, and which is the lobster bisque rather filling. And I think I actually had like 5 mussels as an appetizer. And I was like, well, maybe we should share a dish. And I was getting the sand dabs, which is one of the specials there. And she wanted the rabbit. And then we started contemplating, should we just share one dish? I said, no, the sand dabs are very small, and and the rabbit is very small. And when we got the rabbit, it was like, well, I thought you said it was very small. So we took it home, and the next day, she said it was even better. Marked it up in a nice little pan, and it was to die for.
Well, the next time we go there, that's what I'm having. Not because I forget what I had the first time I was there, but whatever it was, everything that I've tasted so far was fantastic. I was a little disappointed they didn't have those stuffed mussels. Boy, that was just the first time you and I went. Man, that was just unbelievable.
I think we had the beef brisket the first time.
Oh, you know what? I think we did.
Raised beef brisket.
Yeah.
And on the richer side, of course, it's French food. You got to assume it's going to be on the richer side. But I believe we had that when we went. We had the mussels.
Yeah.
Done the black mussels, what they do at dinner, was done. And then we had that green lit mussel appetizer with the sun-dried tomatoes, capers, and so forth. And the special mussel I thought was much better than just the regular mussels I have.
I do too, and I could have made a meal out of that. You know who? I think it was yesterday, Joey. Maybe it was Yeah, I think it was yesterday that Joey and I were talking about what we had. It was over there. Maybe it was before that because your mom and dad were listening. And when Joey mentioned that he had eaten mussels, they couldn't believe it. This kid will eat anything. He'll try anything. I
will try anything. That does not mean I will like anything. But there's very few things that I do not like.
Yeah.
It's food for a reason. People eat it and cook it because it tastes good. So,
or they think it, or in some cases they think it tastes good.
Yeah, but most of the time they're right. Humans seem to have the same palate.
So what I want to move on to here, John, just a little bit, because it just goes unsaid that this Bistro Blue is it's just a jewel sitting out there that nobody knows anything about. But you took a fantastic wine, and I took a fantastic wine, and I guess it's going to be true confessions, because I thought this would be the perfect time to expose, not to give my grandson wine, but to expose to him how the little nuances. And since I had an advanced sommelier with me, I thought it was the perfect time to give him some lessons in wine and to taste him how to just to test the wine, to just taste it and determine what was there. And so I'd be interested in Joey's opinion of what he thought his first tastes of wine were.
I didn't taste it. I only smelled it.
Sure you did. You took a sip of both of them, and you drew, and you go, and you did that over your tongue.
No, I only smelled it.
No, you tasted it. Oh. Don't give me that crap, Joe. Tell the truth.
I remember you aerate the wine, Joey, where you're teaching how to
We're
aerate
teaching
the wine.
You how to do it. You can tell the truth. You won't get in trouble. That's why he's not telling the truth. He won't get in trouble. Here I am. I'm 71 years old. You're 54 or 53 years old. And I've got this 13-year-old that's calling you and me a liar.
Well, Joey, the question I want to ask you was, we had one that had a little age on it. I think it was an 89. And then we had one which was a 2012. So one was very young, very vibrant. The other one mellowed out. The fruit that dissipated a little bit in the wine. You did get a little age on there. And my question was, did you notice the difference between one that was, a good over 15 years old, and then one that was just a few years old? Joey?
He's thinking. Could you tell the difference, Joe?
Yes. Yeah, I could.
Now, and did you think, was your appreciation over the younger wine greater than that of the older wine?
No.
You like the older wine better than the younger one? Which, by the way, John, would have been pretty hard for him to know if he hadn't tasted it. Anyway, so I mean that was just a phenomenal evening or afternoon, and I just thought it was great. We got to do it again. Would you like to do that again sometime, Joe?
Absolutely. That was a fantastic restaurant.
Yeah, that was terrific. Hey, John, we're going to have to take a short break, and then when we come back, we'll play catch up. How's that sound?
We'll play catch up, and I don't know. Joey talked about his other French experience in Pasadena. Did he mention that before I got in the air?
Oh, no, he didn't, but we'll talk about that. I mean, yeah, he didn't mention that at all. Yeah.
Okay, great. We'll talk about that one.
Yeah, we'll talk about that right after these brief messages. Do not go away. We'll be right back with John Hansen, that little old wine drinker.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful and visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make the interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios, Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, General Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. I'm here with my co-host, my young grandson, Joey, and we're with that little old wine drinker, Jon Hansen. We're talking about Bistro Blue. And John, you got the microphone.
Yeah, Bob, just to make Joey a little more comfortable. I mean, we don't condone giving alcohol to minors, but
no.
I'm going to tell you cute little story with my son Zach, and when I was growing up, it's old school. My parents always used to give us a little taste of wine with dinner and so forth, just to try it and so forth, and kind of induce the experience with wine and food and so forth. But I remember, when Zach was getting curious about liquors and stuff, I had him try a little taste of straight vodka, and he was like, "God, that's the most rancid thing I ever tried." I go, "That's no straight vodka." And it's funny because I don't know if he's ever had vodka again, to tell you. But he's starting to get into wines. And, he has a young little daughter now. And I tell you, they were here earlier for lunch. And you would think we have this nice little lunch, maybe have a little wine and so forth. But we had little Avery pick what she wants for lunch today. And what she selected was chips and peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Hey, well, you know what? When I was her age, that was my favorite too.
I know. So we didn't do any wine today, but Zach, he's starting to get more into wine, but he's edging a little more towards beers, and so we had a Lagunitas IPAs. I told him my favorite beers are, I love IPAs as long as you don't get too hoppy, like those double and triple IPAs.
Yeah.
But certain beers go with certain items as well, and as a responsible father, when he's with his daughter, he only has the one drink, and that's it. And but they need to experience. And Joey, don't feel bad or anything. Having a little taste of wine just to experience, there's no problem with that. I mean, I suggest everybody should try that and experience.
You know what? When I was a kid, my parents did it with me. I mean, they had wine barrels in the garage. You know, and it was just a natural thing, and it was an appreciation type thing. I can remember my dad, I think the first time I ever tasted a martini, my dad had given me the taste of it. You know, as long as it's supervised, it's not something you're going to let anybody take advantage of. It's an exposure, a taste, to understand the little nuances and what's good and what's not so good, and to understand that you have to have a respect for it. I think that's the proper thing.
Exactly, because you have that curiosity factor, and let them try it.
Yeah.
Let them find out about it, and I think that takes away that curiosity factor, and they learn to respect it and enjoy it. And as they get older, you know, they enjoy the finer things in life, and there's nothing like, you know, where wine just enhances your dining experience with the right wine, with the right food. That is one of the true enjoyments of life, and you they have to experience this. I mean, it is one of the true enjoyments of life. And as I said, you just taste it, Joey. No worries, you're fine. Okay, buddy.
So listen, let's get into you had mentioned it before, and I think it's a great contrast because the honest truth is, I wanted to take Joey to Bistro Blue because he had a not so pleasant an experience just the week before at a French restaurant that nobody had ever heard of, and they hadn't seen the any ratings or anything, but they were, you know, his mom and dad were trying to do something special for him for his birthday, which was on the 4th of July. And so they took him to this French restaurant that was in Pasadena because we had gone to the Huntington Library that day. That's something that Joey wanted to do. And what was the name of that restaurant, Joey? Do you remember?
No, I don't.
You know, do you want to remember it?
Not necessarily.
Okay. So why don't we have Joey just kind of describe how that meal went?
Well, we got there, and there was no air conditioning in the restaurant.
You had 2 doors open air.
Yeah, 2 doors. And it was a tiny little thing in Old Town Pasadena, I thought it was. Old Town Pasadena. And the food, the first course was escargot. And the escargot was not very good. It was...
Couldn't eat it.
Yeah. I usually finish my escargot. I left 2 pieces. I just couldn't eat it. And then after that, I think we went right to our main course.
Did we? Yeah, I think we did.
Yeah, we just went to our main course, and I had duck confit. It was bad.
Couldn't eat it.
And I don't like duck. I mean, I love duck. Sorry, I didn't like the duck confit, but I absolutely love duck. It's one of my favorite foods. But I didn't like...
What was wrong with it? Was it dry? What was wrong with the duck?
It was the most dry duck I've ever eaten. It was horrible.
You could sink posts with it.
Wow.
It was just really bad, and I had an ossobuco that I couldn't eat. None of us had anything that we could eat. We left there very, very dissatisfied.
We were so scared to eat dessert, we just didn't have any dessert. We just got up and left.
Now, was the escargot like a traditional escargot with the butter in the shell?
No, you know what? They had the plate, but they didn't have it in the shells, and they had, it was like a parsley paste. You couldn't taste garlic. You couldn't taste butter. You couldn't taste any oil. It was like a parsley paste. It was just horrible.
Wow.
Yeah. So
and I bet you it wasn't cheap. It was in the Old Town Pasadena.
No, it wasn't cheap at all. And then you know what? And the chef came out, and he was wearing a pair of what appeared to be dingy jeans, and he was in a T-shirt that looked soiled and all sweaty.
Wow.
I mean, I got to tell you, that was not my best experience. How about yours, Joe?
Wow.
No, it wasn't.
Anything like Bistro Blue?
No.
I can't even compare it, can you?
You can't even compare it. You can't even compare it.
Well, you know, Bob, as I said, Bistro Blue, I mean, is the food is amazing. I mean, there's young people that are servers there, and they're not the most knowledgeable, but they are learning. The two servers that take care of us, we always give them a little taste of wine. And wine when we come in because we bring a bottle of wine. And by the way, where can you find a restaurant that charges you $10 corkage now?
Oh, yeah.
Everything at least $20. So $10 for corkage. And actually, one of the servers there, they actually weighed our corkage one time because they were intrigued about the wine. We gave them a taste and talked to them about it. And he said, I, as a manager, waive the corkage for us. And they're learning, and they just need a little more time because there's really nobody up front there to train them. But I tell you, they had a great front person there. They have great wines by the glass. They have a great little Chablis. They have a great rosé, and you know how much I love rosés, especially outside. You can just sit out by the pool and just drink rosé all day and just relax and get out in the pool. But they have the Guigel Côte d'Aron. They have.
Well, they do.
Oh yes, some great little wines that are all like $7.99 a glass.
Oh wow!
And as I said, French food usually gets rather expensive, and the prices at this Bistro Blue just blew me away. It's like, this can't be. It was almost like when we had our friends from Ways and Mean on. How can you sell a $9.99 lobster tail?
Yeah.
Well, it actually cost me $11, but
yeah, that's got to be just pure marketing, because otherwise, why would you lose $2 or $1 on each one?
Well, it is their loss here, and they said that was just basically get people in to try it and see what they're about. But they did have all those other specials, $2 oysters. I mean, wow. And I'm a big oyster fan. Joey, have you ever had oysters yet?
No, I had not. And it was, oysters.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I have. I didn't particularly care for them.
You didn't particularly care? Well, maybe it just wasn't the right oysters. I mean, you may want to try like an oyster Rockefeller, instead of just doing like raw chucked oysters. But I was thinking maybe we should go down to Ways and Means.
That might be a trip.
And maybe we should. Well, you know why? Because I am in the business. Industry people always get the $2 oysters. Mm-hmm. We can go down there and actually try all the different oysters they have. And I think they do have like an oyster Rockefeller or Casino or something like that.
See, Joey could try that, but I'll tell you what he'll definitely try. He'll definitely try the lobster.
They still have Monday, $9.99 lobster, and it's a pound and a half, or a pound and a quarter lobster or something like that.
Yeah, it's good size.
Wow, yeah. As I said, I can't believe how can they charge that, and he confessed that. Well, it actually cost me $11 before I even serve it, and you got to figure out the actual staff preparing the dish too. So it's actually even more than that. So. It's their loss leader, and we haven't been to the new store since they've opened, so that's something we have to venture down.
Oh yeah, you know what? We ought to do that. And where's the new store at?
It's in Huntington Beach. I think it's it's close to PCH, down Huntington Beach Way. And we'll get the address for them because I still get all the emails they send out, and all the flyers, when they did the Father's Day special, and they do actual specials for events, but they still always have their regular thing. I think Wednesday is half price off all their wine lists. So, I mean, you can go get a bottle of wine that was $30 is now $15.
Do they still have that young chef that was there?
Yes, he's still there. He is still there, yes. Let's see, well, Monday's lobster, of course. Tuesday, I think, was the oyster, $2 oyster. Mm-hmm. Wednesday is half price on wine. And then they have something for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Well, actually, and then Sunday you have the champagne special for the brunch.
Right.
Nice little champagne for like $9.99 endless glass champagne or so. So they have a special going on every day, and if you never had the lobster, it's a lost lead. It's like, it's going to be this time. I tell you, it is delicious.
Yes, it is.
It's worth it going there. They usually only give you one, but they know us, so we've gotten two before we want to. They save it, but
if you're a lobster eater, man, it's hard to eat just one of those because it is so good, man. I'll tell you.
It's incredible.
So anyway, so we're gonna have to try that one of these days. You're laid up for a while, so we'll be able to fit that in. Joey, when do you start school?
Around August.
Okay, that's just a couple weeks from now.
Yeah, I don't...
about 4 weeks. You got 4 weeks before you start school.
Yeah.
At the middle of August, right?
No, not the middle. It's at the very beginning.
Oh, it is?
Yes. I'm unsure of the exact date.
Well, I'm sorry, what'd you say, John?
We still have time to get Joey out there to try ways and means.
Yeah. We'll have to work on that. So anyway, we have, let's see here, looks like we have 2 minutes if you want to do a wine of the week.
Wine of the week, gosh, let's see, 2 minutes. Let me just ponder in this for 1 second. We've been trying some great wines as well. We tried the Booker, we tried the George Latour, we had the
Oh, you know what? Let's talk about that for a second. I was surprised that we had the 02 George Latour, and I was expecting it to be, bad already. That 02 wasn't that great a year when they actually brought it out. And I gotta tell you what, it turned out to be pretty decent.
I thought it was amazing.
Yeah.
I thought it was amazing. But what else? We had the
Chateauneuf de Pop
from Beringer. There we go. And I tell you, while we do that, because don't quote me, but Costco have a special. Usually
Hey, John, when you receive those checks in the mail, are those big checks you get from Costco?
They better start sending me something, Bob. But regularly at Costco, it's $47, and they had, I think, $13 off or $12 off. We went down to like around $35 a bottle. Hopefully it's still going on. I don't know how long it's going on, but Beringer, their Reserve Cab, always wanted a great wine there. That Quantum, delicious. For $35 a bottle, you really can't beat it. And if Costco was selling for $47, they only mark up the price 3%. So you're basically getting under what the wholesale is. So what an exceptional buy for a great little bottle of wine. Let's go with that 2012 Quantum by Beringer. It's a Cabernet blend, lovely red wine. And as I said, I don't know when the sale goes off, but if you get there soon, you may still grab a bottle from.
Well, wouldn't it be fair to say, John, that no matter what your preference in wines would be, if you get them at Costco, they're only working on a 3% margin. You're always going to get a super deal.
You can't beat the price, and they have a great selection of wines. Now you have to go to different Costcos to get different wines. They have the same wine in every store. It is different in every store. And when you find a gem, and that's the problem. Oh, we were talking about the Prisoner orange Swiss wine that actually just got purchased out, and Costco had it for like $34.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
It was fun because when I bought like 3 bottles because I wanted to try the new vintage, and when I tried it, I go, it's just like the same thing. And then I did some research and found out that the winemaker has to stay on for like the next 5 years until the actual winery gets going.
Wow. Hey, anyway, we're running late. And by the way, I really appreciate you calling in, even though it was late. I thought we were going to have to wing this whole thing.
A little traffic, and I couldn't do it myself, so I had to wait till I get home to the landline. I was a good 7-8 minutes late on it. I do apologize.
Yep, not a problem at all. So listen,
I figured Bill would be there anyway, right?
Yeah, and he covered it. He had it covered. He was ready to go for it. Anyway, my friend, you have a wonderful week. Take care of yourself. You got a doctor's appointment this week?
15th. Yes, I go in. Hopefully they'll take that strip off, and I'll be able to swim and just about do everything, drive and all that other fun stuff. So,
all right, my friend. Listen, you have a great week, and we'll talk to you soon. Give that lovely wife of yours a hug and a kiss from us, will you?
And you do the same.
All right. And so the rest of you folks, stick around, because when we come back from this commercial break, we're going to do the birthdays for the day, the secret daily teaching for your life, the Harvard business tip of the day, and interesting but useless facts. We'll be right back.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this. The Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. Nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Leinberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. I'm here with my co-host, my young grandson, Joey, and we're coming on down to the wire here. I want you to know that if you're listening to us on our globally syndicated network, and you're in Chicago, Illinois, it is 89 degrees, partly cloudy. Paris, France, 61 degrees and clear. And in Rome, Italy, 72 degrees and clear. And right here, it's 89 degrees. That's on its way down from 96 degrees on its way to 60 in sunny Southern California. But right now, let's talk about the Harvard Business Tip of the day. And the management tip today is make sure you learn from your mistakes. That sounds like a pretty good deal to do. Continuing to grow and innovate means taking risks, which naturally involves making mistakes. But mistakes don't mean a leader should discourage experimentation. Rather, leaders should encourage people to take time to understand why mistakes happened and in order to minimize them in the future. Now, trace previous mistakes back to their roots to identify the causes and what can be done differently next time. Now, use role-playing exercises, debates, or even formal business war games, I should say, to think through how a new strategy might play out differently. Try to look at things from a competitor's point of view to factor in a new perspective. Mistakes are inevitable and can be very, very costly, so don't waste them. Learn from them. That's the important thing. You know, I can remember years and years ago when I was at the Revlon Corporation, one of the things I told all the people that were under me was when they were in a store and they saw something new being offered, buy it. I wanted them to buy it and send it to me because I wanted to know what the competition had and how I could combat it before anybody else did. I wanted to know their business better than they did. And sometimes you'd make a mistake, but you'd always learn by it. And that's the important part of what business is all about. Now, it's time for our secret daily teaching for your life. This is all about a
positive mental attitude.
That's right. And you're in control of your own future, your own day. You decide if you're going to be successful or a failure, whether you're going to be rich or poor. You know what? You decide all those things. You decide if you're going to be happy or sad. So you might as well get up in the morning, look in the mirror, and be happy. I don't know who sang that song. It was a Calypso song. I can't think. Bobby something. Anyway. The teaching for today is, think thoughts of perfection. Illness cannot exist in the body that has a harmonious thoughts. Know that there is only perfection. And as you observe perfection, you must summon that to you. Imperfect thoughts are the cause of all humanity's ills, including disease, poverty, and unhappiness. When we think negative thoughts, we are cutting ourselves off from our rightful heritage. Declare and intend, I think perfect thoughts. I see only perfection. I am perfection. So give that some thought. Well, you know what today is? Surely you do. Today is Monday, but it's July the 11th, and it is somebody's birthday. We have a lot of birthdays today, but the ones we do have are good ones. So let's start off with this one. You know, this guy, he was born in 1959. He was an American musician. He actually played with Bon Jovi. And his name? Happy birthday, Richie Sambora. And here's an American rapper for you, born in 1975. Happy birthday, Lil' Kim. Well, you ever wonder what happened in history on July the 11th? How about 1776? Captain James Cook begins his third voyage, and in 1798, the United States Marine Corps was reestablished. They had been disbanded after the American Revolutionary War. And big deal, in 1914, Babe Ruth makes his debut in Major League Baseball. Can you imagine that? And then finally, here's one for you. We can debate this. In 1955, Joey, the phrase, "In God We Trust," was added to all U.S. currency. Now, there are those that have a problem with that. Sad, huh? Yeah. Oh, you have no thought. Okay.
That's their opinion.
Our quote for today comes from Anatole France, and the quote is, "A person is never happy except at the price of some ignorance." Well, that goes without saying, I guess. Now, it's time for us to do those interesting but useless facts. We only got time for a couple of them here, but let's start off with this. It is impossible to eat 6 saltine crackers in under a minute without licking your lips. All right, now my grandson Joey, he's licking his lips already, but he's thinking about trying this, aren't you, Joe?
I don't see how the guy tested it.
Well, 6 of them, they got to be that thick, right? How do you get that in your mouth? Hell, try this on. The Black Plague destroyed half the population of Europe in the 14th century. Can you imagine?
That's a historical fact.
Yeah, these are all facts.
Yeah, but a lot of people already know that.
Yeah, well, of course. Some people know everything. Okay. Anyway, did you know that Cinderella's slippers were originally made out of fur? The story was changed in the 1600s by a translator to make them red ruby. No, that wasn't red ruby. That was red ruby.
Those were Dorothy's slippers.
Yeah, that was Dorothy's slippers. So I don't know what the other one was. Who cares? Glass slipper.
Glass
slipper, yeah. You know what? Let's leave it with this one. In 1815, French chemist Michael Eugene Chervol realized the first link between diabetes and sugar metabolism when he discovered that the urine of a diabetic was identical to grape sugar. I don't think I can leave it with that one. Let's leave it with this one. By feeding hens certain dyes, they can be made to lay eggs with, vari-colored yolks. Almost rainbow-colored yolks. Now, do not go away, because when we come back, we're going to be doing our tribute to the late, great Paul Harvey and the rest of the story. We'll be right back after these brief messages.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful and visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. And it's time for our tribute to the late, great Paul Harvey and the rest of the story. And you know what? I usually give you a dissertation about all of his accomplishments and everything that's going on. It's enough for you to know that he's the biggest and best voice in America. We miss him. He reveals the startling heartbeats behind all the headlines. And the story for today is all in the family. Well, for many, the process of research and development is all in the family. For the Curies, for the Masters and Johnson, and so it was for Jacob and Wilhelm. They were scholars, researchers, although they died while working on a 32-volume dictionary, a monument to their tireless scholarly efforts. It is another piece of research for which we remember them. They were boys in college, Jacob and Wilhelm, when their interest in history was aroused. In a way, you might say that they were the first psychological anthropologists, the first to explore the relation of folklore to human history. They perused the writings of Homer, presumably fiction, discovered their impact and the possible links to the fact. Perhaps they decided other legends might shed new light on the great story of man, the true story. Some such legends had previously collected, published, but many others had never been written down. This was the elusive category called oral tradition. Only a few aged peasants here and there remembered them. When they died, the stories, some dating back 1,000 years, would die with them. So when Jacob was 22 and Wilhelm was 21, the two set out to record these legends to seek their tellers before that they and their stories would vanish forever. These young men were scholars, remember, and their quest was one of historical relevance. So they were perhaps at first amazed by what they found in the beginnings of their research. But then the chore began to cheer them. With the passing of each day, the people that they met proved most interesting indeed. A shepherd was happy to spend an afternoon spinning old yarns for a bottle of wine. An old cavalry sergeant came upon hard times, told a few more in return for a patched pair of pants. One woman, living in a home for the aged, was hesitant to talk to them. If she were overheard telling her stories to anyone but children, they might lock her up for being a madwoman, she said. So Wilhelm got a friend to take along his children as an audience for the old woman, while Wilhelm listened and took notes behind a curtain. The best story source turned out to be a tailor's wife. Not only did she tell her stories well, but she told them each time in exactly the same words. If she spoke too quickly and was asked to repeat, she would retell them slowly, without a change. After 5 hard but happy years, Jacob and Wilhelm had collected 86 stories. But at the last, they were unable to draw any particular historical significance from them. So the manuscripts were shelved and might still be there today if it were not for a friend who discovered them and insisted that they be published. Arrangements were made with the printer in Berlin, and a few days before Christmas of 1812, the first edition of Jacob and Wilhelm's stories went on sale. Expecting so little, they accepted no money at first, and at last took only a pittance. At no time in their subsequent careers as librarians and professors did they have a year's income equivalent to more than $5,000. And yet, their little book of stories would one day sell 1 billion copies in 20,000 editions, would be translated into 50 languages in 40 countries. Today, a century and a half later, their little volume is second only to the Bible as the most famous, most widely read, most generally remembered. They were brothers, Jacob and Wilhelm. Like George and Ira, Wilbur and Orville, they kept it all in the family. But such was the magnitude of Jacob and Wilhelm's last name, that you only remember them by it. And if the historical relevance of their work together less than pleased you, their stories have since pleased 150 years of children. Stories like Hansel and Gretel, and Snow White, and Cinderella, and Tom Thumb. For the book that they called Tales for Children and The Hearth, you know as Grimm's Fairy Tales. And now you know the Brothers Grimm and the rest of their story. Joey, did you know before I finished it?
I knew it halfway through.
Did you?
Yep.
You really did?
Yep.
Oh, be darned. You never fail to amaze me. I think it's great. So, had you read any of Grimm's Tales?
Yes, I have.
Of course, Cinderella and Tom Thumb and all those things. They're just so famous. I just find it interesting when you start talking about how these things became a reality and how they became famous, and the fact that they didn't really earn any money on it, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
$5,000 a year. Although in 1812, that might have been a lot of money. You think?
I think that would be a middle class income in 1812.
Yeah, I don't know. So
I'd have to Google it.
But they never stopped working. That's for sure. They never did stop working.
A lot of their fairy tales have been watered down. Like Disney Cinderella is nothing like the Cinderella in the.
Oh, is that right?
Grimm's fairy tale. Yeah, in Grimm's fairy tales, the stepsister cut their heels off.
Oh, Jesus! Let's not go there. Anyway, hey Joey, on our next show, which is tomorrow, a good buddy of yours is going to be here. Sean LaFave is going to be here to talk about current events and healthcare. He's actually on the road on his way to Wichita, Kansas. He's going to be there for 3 months, so we'll be hearing from him long distance for a long time. And I'm going to continue our tribute to the late great Paul Harvey and the rest of the story. You going to be with us tomorrow, Joe?
Possibly. I'm unsure.
Okay. So in any event, I want you to tell all your friends about our show here on the RLC Broadcasting Network.
So for today, beginning today, treat everyone you meet as if they were going to be dead by midnight. Extend them all the care, kindness, and understanding that you can muster. Your life will never be the same again. So many of our dreams at first seem impossible, then they seem improbable, and then when we summon the will, they soon become inevitable. You know, the real secret of happiness is to make others believe that they're the cause of it. Robert Cardoza Live is brought to you by blogtalkradio.com every Monday through Friday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. Now, go out and make it a great day. Your host has been Robert Cardoza, the technical advisor, Matchstick Digital, and your executive producer, also Robert Cardoza.